Welcome back to Minding Our Businesses, where CEO
and COO sisters
share unfiltered conversation about running 3 companies together and the real life between it all. Your best self.
Are you starting?
I am. I mean, I started. Do you want to continue starting?
Rachel had a cavity filled today and came to work with half of her mouth not working, and I still cannot take her seriously.
Well, actually, we had to move this entire recording because I was fully willing to continue recording, and the team was like, Rachel, you're actually not recording the podcast.
Stop
today.
you right there, ma'am. Your half side mouth.
Yeah, well, on the topic of becoming your best self,
You have to go to the dentist.
I'm on a journey to not have cavities anymore because I've had a previous addiction to sour watermelon patches, and I believe they've caused some damage.
How about the all pink Starburst bag?
I honestly am at a point where my teeth hurt so bad that I can't even have a Starburst.
I haven't had cavities in a while. I think it's because I'm not eating candy, honestly.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm
on a journey to my best self.
Yeah, I guess I could go fuck myself then. Perfect. Anyways, yeah, so my face is back to functioning. Grateful.
We are happy to have you back.
Glad to be here. I think one of my life pursuits is constantly becoming the best version of myself, and I think you share that with me too.
I don't think I always did, honestly. As I was thinking about this episode and thinking to myself what that means to me, I think in the journey of my life, being my best self was always how good I could be at work or how much I could put into work. But I don't think that's the only thing for me to be my best self. I think I put my personal life and my personal self to the side always, which I want to be really good at both.
Absolutely.
And I never knew you could do both so well,
Oh, hell yeah. I think that this is a daily journey for me. I don't know. I kind of wrote down, when I was jotting down notes, I was I can't wait to meet her. The person that I'll be once I'm my best self.
I think I sent you what I was saying. I think I wrote sending her love, but she's not for me.
I didn't
as
see
in
that
myself.
part.
Oh, I thought you were laughing.
No, I didn't
I was talking about my old self. I was analyzing who I used to be, and I was love her. Glad she got me to where I am now, but she's not for me.
I can't wait to meet her, but I think genuinely it's my constant life pursuit is just getting better every single day, and also being forgiving with myself when I'm not having the best day. I think there's a lot of things that I do or that I've learned over time to become that best version of myself that we can talk about today. I kind of summed it up as mind, body, soul. Which I think can be a redundant topic, but I think we could break the conversation kind of down by that. If you're down.
I'm down.
Cool. Yeah, because I think the mind, body, soul connection, when you are at 100% on all 3, that's when you're living your best self. And I think in light of recent conversations you and I have had, it's really just about the 80-20 rule.
Literally 80-20, but also everyone's version of their best self. My voice just cracked so bad, is so different. Something that's going to make me happy is not going to make somebody else happy. And I don't think everyone can just follow somebody else's life journey or path.
Oh yeah.
Because when I was writing this out, a lot of these things had related to my issues with food, or my issues with never working out, or putting myself first in the mornings, or habits. I found a lot of love in making habits.
Oh yeah.
Because for me, I never used to drink water, and it used to really gross me out. I'd be I just did not drink water 1 second today. I only had coffee, and I had made it a habit. Every morning I fill it. I always try to have 2 of the 40 ounces, and that's my goal for the day. But that's a habit I've created that I don't forget now.
Oh, absolutely.
And I've been doing it for 6 months. It's not going to die. It's going to stay.
100%. I think for me, I call it a practice. You can call it my routine, my ritual. Something I've learned as my life has kind of changed over time as a CEO and now a mom is that it doesn't ever have to look the same.
Yeah.
That every day it can be different. I used to actually be totally opposite of that. I used to be really rigid. My morning routine has to be in the morning. It has to be at 4:30 a.m. It has to be before my day begins. But as I have grown up a little bit, I've learned that it's not always possible for your routine to look the same way every day. And so
some days I'm tired.
Absolutely. Some days I'm tired.
And you need to sleep.
Well, yeah, I think it's about also kind of feeling yourself. Like
Yeah.
what do I need today as a person? I think for me, it's like I have this open book of rituals that like I know I love, that I've brought into my life, that we can talk about each one of them. And on any given day, when I go into that time that I've reserved for myself, my meeting with myself, I choose which ritual I want to do in that time frame. It's not that some days I don't do it. It's just that some days it looks different.
You have like a book.
Yeah.
It's like a book of best self choices
I
that you
can
can
pick
make.
my options.
Right. No, I like that. I like that because it doesn't feel like stressed. Like you don't have to like get all hyped up on that.
No pressure.
I don't like having pressure around something that I feel like I have to do. Like if I don't do it, I want to release the guilt.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like some days I might not have a lot of time and I might just want to like go sit and look at nature for 10 minutes. That is a version of meditation.
In your eyes, like what is your journey to your best self? Like what's like the number one thing you can like account to being your best self?
I would say it's probably my connection to self, like in terms of understanding my needs and being able to connect with what I'm feeling.
Right.
Like, because the sooner I can connect to my emotion, am I feeling anxious? Am I feeling sad? Am I feeling happy? Am I feeling present? Why am I feeling what I'm feeling? Then I can create a routine that day around whatever it is I'm feeling.
Yeah.
It's my tool. So I think the constant betterment of myself is connection to my mind.
Actually, it's a really good way to put it. It's like you're being self-aware with yourself of like what you need and what you don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's also like consistency. Because for me, like
Consistency.
consistency.
I personally think it's consistency.
For me, like my best self journey is going to be related to doing things that are like wellness related for me right now. Like that's just like the vibe I'm on of like whatever I can do to make me feel good, whether that's eating healthier or like saying no to something where I'm going to be put in a situation where I feel like I can't be my best self or drinking water or going to the gym and like lifting weights. Like I think I texted my friend the other day and I was like, lifting weights feels so good.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why did I not know this sooner? Or why didn't I put energy into it sooner? Like almost bothers me. But I also like have to ignore that voice in my head because it's like, you're doing it now and it feels really great. And like, I don't ever want to stop.
Well,
you know,
you arrive to it when you arrive to it. And whenever you do, you meet yourself where you are.
Yeah, like I'm good with that. I just think it's like, it's funny. Like you don't even realize that you love things until you try them on a consistent basis.
Well, I think step one is always the hardest step, right? Like just starting. What do they say? It's like takes 90 days to break a habit. It's the compound effect, truthfully, of the little things that make your life better.
Yeah.
I think probably one of my keys to success in my entire life is the constant betterment of myself and the constant growth mindset personally and professionally. It's not that I'm never satisfied. I'm actually always satisfied. I'm always happy exactly where I am, but I'm genuinely just curious. How great can I be?
Yeah.
I want to know. Like, I literally want to know, how great can my businesses be? I'm happy where I am right now. How great can I look? I always want to know. Like, I'm a fine wine, baby. I'm going to get better with age.
I'm a fine wine for sure.
I'm
definitely a red
fine-
wine. Definitely a red wine.
I'm a fine Merlot.
You love Merlot.
I love Merlot. Well, I mean, that's all I really know. I'm just like uneducated. I'm just an open tool. So let's start with mind.
Okay.
I mean, the first thing that came to my mind, thinking about my mind, was meditation. Mm-hmm. I think the first thing I could say as advice, if you don't meditate, is that it doesn't mean you're shutting off your mind, and it doesn't mean you're shutting off your thoughts, and it doesn't mean you're not thinking, and it doesn't mean your mind isn't racing, and it doesn't need to look how you think it needs to look.
Right.
It's just not what it means, you know? And I'm not, in this particular application of meditation, I am talking about breath work. I am talking about sitting there and cleansing your mind.
You're talking about like active meditation,
I am.
not just
I am
like
talking,
cooking or sitting down.
Right.
Like it's like you're planning it and you're doing it.
I'm not talking about a metaphorical meditation.
Yeah.
Now, recently in my lifestyle, as I've said, my practice has changed. So like when I have blocks of time changes. So I just always make sure I know when that block of time can be, that I have that time for myself. But like the other night, I didn't want to sit in my meditation chair and meditate. It wasn't the vibe for me. So instead I took a meditative bath and I combined two of my practices and then did them together.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll romanticize my bath. And I know that that was a word that we were going to talk about today, is like romanticizing your routine.
Love.
But I do romanticize my bath. Like I do light every candle in my room.
I love that.
I light an incense. I light a Palo Santo. And then I do put on healing frequencies on Spotify. And I sit there in the bath and I actually will let myself become weightless, and I'll let my arms float, and I'll let my legs let go. And the only thing I'm really thinking about in meditation is the letting go. So I'll actually do a body scan, and I'll run from the top of my head to the tip of my toes, and I'll see in how many different ways can I let go of a muscle I'm holding on to tension. And that is the first step for me in meditation, is a body scan.
It's a good way. Like I can picture like doing that. First of all, I love the bath.
Me too.
And I agree with you on romanticizing your routine. Like last night, I literally cut up an apple as like my dessert and put it in this like little dish. It was really weird. But I lit a candle and I sat in the bathtub and just was like, I don't remember. Oh, I was scrolling marketing TikToks. That's where you got them. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting in the bath, eating my apple, like just like living my best life, laughing to myself like that I'm the happiest ever right now.
Yeah.
And it's so silly. Like it doesn't even make sense that would make me that happy. But like, I know in those moments, like I'm excited to get in the bath. I'm excited to eat this apple that I know is good for my body. I'm excited to gain information from TikTok right now.
You're feeding your soul,
and
is
then
what you're doing.
Joe comes in, he's like, what are you doing with that apple dish? And I was like, I'm eating an apple in the tub. Like, what do you want from me?
Fuck off, Joe.
Literally fuck off, Joe. But it's like I know it's so lame, but it's like, it is like the little things that you're doing for yourself that do feed your soul.
Yeah.
And I don't need to explain myself to anybody.
Oh, I'm in constant pursuit of what more things there are that could feed my soul. Like that is like an endless passion of mine, is like, what else can I add to the book?
I think
I'm
just seeking endless happiness at this point in my life. Like anything.
Well, I think you correlated, Carly, that these things amount to happiness.
They really do. Like, and we'll talk about body, but like within your mind, like losing weight or being in a consistent habit or trying to get to a goal is a mind game. There is a little voice in my head. I think Dad used to say I always had like an angel and a devil in my head that would like always try to, fight my angel. But for me, like I always have like, don't go to the gym. Screw it. Like don't go to the gym in your head. And then I'm like, I'm going upstairs, putting my sports bra on, and I'm going out the door. Like I don't care.
It's the step one.
And I just like fought that for so long.
I think once you feel the benefits of putting the work in, LOL. I think once you feel the benefit of it, then in your chest, in your soul, in your heart, in your mind, when your cells feel the benefit, it's motivating.
It's a full-time job.
Like I am
as a
consistently
wellness,
taking care of myself.
Yeah, like it's so funny. Like, and I want to say that out loud. Like it is hard.
Oh my God, it is so hard.
Like and I'm not saying I don't do this. There are so many nights, like it's Friday and I'm like, let's go to dinner. Let's get the cake. Let's get the French fries. Let's get anything we can. Let's gallivant around Boston and get drunk. Like there's so many nights where I'm like, I want to do that with my boyfriend or fiance.
You also can do that.
I'm not saying I can't do it. It's not a can or can't for me. It's, will that stop the journey that I'm on right now to get to a certain goal?
What's the end goal?
Right. And like, it doesn't matter to me. Like I am on this life journey on my own, but it's also like I have choices in my head to make. And that's where I like to test my willpower.
Well, you're extremely goal oriented right now. And I think what's going to be an interesting exercise for you is when you're not. And when you're not, when there is no like
freedom
end goal to, you know, like right now you're like wedding weight, like what best sell for wedding. But like, there's also just like an endless pursuit in general life for being the best self you can be.
It feels so good too. Like for your birthday, I had cake, I had donuts, I had bagels, I had whatever the hell we were having. Mm-hmm. And the next day I woke up, I went to the gym and I was right back on my grind.
Yeah.
Which typically I wouldn't be.
Yeah,
so for me,
getting
I'm just
better
like
every day
in a good mindset. So I'm trying to set myself up for like that as well. Like after the wedding to continue this lifestyle.
Yeah.
I like it.
I think it's important to also understand, like when you are analyzing mind, body, soul, from the plane, looking at yourself, which area could you work on? Which area should you be focusing on? Like working on your body without your mind is not complete connection.
Right.
So it's like, how deep are you going in one area? Yes, working out can cleanse your mind. I'm talking about different mind work. Like, for example, something I've recently reapplied to my routine now that I'm really back in it, like really solidly at night. I've transitioned my entire routine to go to nighttime now. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, after the girls go to bed, I've learned when I look from the plane at my life, I'm now able to get a 2-hour block of time 3 days a week during
Well, it's nice
that
because
time.
you made more time for yourself.
Well, what I did is I just analyzed how realistic my life is right now, and I pivoted so that I wasn't sacrificing my best self, because that's my responsibility. I'm accountable for showing up for everybody and myself in my life. But what I was going to say is, one thing I've recently reapplied that I kind of forgot about was visualizing. And it's been a very powerful tool for me recently.
Like what your life looks like.
I apply it to a lot of different things. So like, let's say I have an intrusive thought, like an anxiety thought or an anxious thought or an idea or like just something that pops into my mind. Like I recently listened to this meditation, a pool, and it's like a pool vacuum, and you envision the leaves in the pool, and you envision that being your mind, and you envision the pool vacuum cleaning up all the leaves, and then all of a sudden your mind is clear. So visualizing is a form of meditation, and it's basically like another thing I do often is I
like that.
It's beautiful. I'll envision my family in white light. Like I'll actually envision you, Joe, Ollie, Frankie, Cooper as a unit, and I'll envision all of you.
I want to be in that unit.
It's very interesting meditation. So I'll actually picture you together, and then I'll picture the white light wrapping around each of your curves of your body in one unit, and then I envision that white light projecting beauty, health, wellness. Like I actually do this.
I really like a visual. Like,
a visual is very practical.
Yeah, no, I really like a visual, because meditation sometimes, like when you sit and start, for me, like you've been doing it for so long, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing right now?
Oh, it's a very intimidating thing to start with.
And I'm like, okay, Peloton app, let's do a 5-minute meditation.
Great
of like
place
what
to
they
start.
what they say.
Great place.
And I actually think I could do that more. Like I could insert that into my routine a little bit more. Like I could do gym, sauna, like maybe do a meditation in the sauna or something.
Oh, the combination.
I love that.
I meditate in the sauna a lot.
But if I don't make it a habit, I won't do it, truthfully. So like
I think the only thing about guided meditations for me, I do like them. I try to be open to all. I think that sometimes it's like not challenging me. Maybe it's where I'm at in my life right now, but
you like actively meditate. Like for people who are beginners, like I think people say they meditate and they're really into it, but I think not everyone's form of meditation
totally
is the same.
I agree, but I'm just saying, like, I do like a guided meditation. Like I've been listening to Joe Dispenza, and I do like some of his meditations, but also sometimes I'm noticing it makes my mind think about other things. And sometimes I like to just go inside my mind and like explore, like without somebody else's voice in my head.
How do you do that though?
So like if I was going to do it right now, the first thing I said, I would start with my body scan, because that gets me into my body.
I don't like the scan.
So the reason you say it's like I'm visualizing myself.
I understand. It's like a copy.
Myself.
It's like a copy machine.
So if you just shut your eyes for a second,
Right?
we can all do this together. I'll put you through it, like I guess a guided. Like shut your eyes and just envision your forehead letting go. Let it release for a second. Now let your mind carry to your jaw and let go of your jaw muscles, and think about your ears letting go of all tension. And then focus on the middle of your face and let the tension that surrounds your nose and your mouth and your jaw all release together at once. Let your mind scan to your neck area and the back of your neck and the back of your shoulders, and start to let go of those muscles. Let your shoulders let go of tension. Let your arms settle down. Now focus on your chest. Let go of any tension you might be holding onto in your chest.
You honestly sound like a meditation teacher.
And slowly scan down your body and see where you can let go. Only after I've done that exercise have I re-entered my body. I have to re-enter my body before I can meditate. Do you understand? Because like all day I'm focused on what's around me. I'm focused on what's outside of me. I'm focused on people and issues and business and children and screaming and dogs barking and blah, 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 blah.
Do you do the same thing every time?
Pretty much, yeah. That's pretty much my practice. I mean, sometimes I'll just start by doing deep breaths if I'm finding, but step one is always re-enter my mind. Step one is always, like, one of the things we talked about as a potential topic episode today, which is like a big affirmation of mine right now, is the only way up is in. I'm deeply focused right now on how in can I get. That's my newest challenge, is like how deep how in can I get? No, but I think once you've recognized in the meditation, oh, I'm now back in my body. I'm back in my soul. then the meditation begins.
See, I would have to have guided no matter what.
You got to know what you need.
Yeah, like that to me, really am into the visual aspect that you're bringing though.
Well, let me just also back up and say that one of my meditation coaches who taught me that theme, I learned by being guided.
Right.
Like, so those skill sets that I learned, I was guided a long time ago. Like, he used to make me focus on one visualization I used to have to do. When I would go to him, is I would say, I'm really upset that this person doesn't like me. This was really early on in my career. And he was like, why are you obsessed with everyone liking you? And I was like, I don't know. I think I just want to be liked. Like, I think I want people to think good things about me. And he was like, we need to peel that skin off your body like a snake. And so one random day, and I had to be super open to these things. I was alone in the room with my friend Andrew, and he was teaching me this. And he would literally he would talk me through shedding my skin like a snake. And the skin was letting go of people liking me. And I let go of it. I actually saw it leave my body. And then I was able to logically say, that's not on my body anymore.
I like that a lot.
So visualizing, I think, is a really important tool. I also wrote here communication. The reason I wrote that is because I think when you bottle feelings, your mind is cluttered and then you're unable to reach yourself. So I think it's super important to communicate with a small group of people.
Yeah, I think I sent you a TikTok, LOL, obsessed with TikTok over here, last night, where it was like I was talking to a 95-year-old woman or something, and these are the things they wanted me to tell you about their lives.
Oh, yeah.
Or something. And it was like, you don't want to regret time. You don't want to regret speaking how you feel. You don't want to regret being with your loved ones or who loved you or those type of things. And I was thinking to myself that you never want to have time pass without communicating something that you're feeling, because it's just such a waste of time.
My point being is that there is communication that needs to be had to express your best self. And I think when you're in a state of expression, I also think that can go really the wrong direction. Like, you should not be a dumping ground and you should not be someone who's spewing onto other people like your shit.
Yeah.
Unless you've really handled your shit yourself.
There's just like, I've been really trying to be 5D about things in my life. Like, sometimes I literally can't control it. Like, there's times where customer service wise, like, I fly off the handle. But I've been referencing it more. I'd be like, that was totally not 5D. That was like, and I think that's okay. Like, I'm okay with that, as long as I'm recognizing it. But
I remind you that 5D thinking cannot exist without 3D contrast.
100%. Like, I have the contrast. I'm very aware of the contrast. But there's people in my life that just like let things happen to them and they'll never say anything. And
I want to can I just respond to something you just said?
Sure.
I think another way to phrase that is being the witness to yourself. Being the witness. That is a very powerful thing. Like, are you observing yourself? Are you able to remove yourself? Sometimes that's a visualization too. Like, I'll shut my eyes and think what I look like if I was to look at myself right now.
Oh yeah, no, I do that all the time. Especially when I'm angry or feeling some type of way towards someone I love. Like, I'm just like, what is this right now? And like, you do that for me. You'll be like, are you putting yourself in their shoes? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? And like, sometimes I can do that on like myself, but like, something for me that I'm really good at is like, I can never not say something that's on my mind. And sometimes that puts me in a bad place, and sometimes that puts me in a really good place.
Well, I think sometimes not having restraint on saying what's on your mind is a reflection
I think we talked about that, yeah.
Of a negative thing inside your mind too.
Definitely.
And that's something to reflect on, is like restraint and like what to say, what not to say, when to communicate, when not to communicate, only comes from clarity in your mind. And that I had to write that too, because it also leaves space for understanding feelings. Like, sometimes when I'll meditate, I'll get a wave of ideas. I'll get a wave of understanding why I felt a certain way. I'll get a wave of how to solve something I didn't know how to solve. So it's like just kind of like cleaning my anxious thoughts in my mind. Why don't we move to body?
Okay.
So what do you have to say about finding your best body? Finding your best self inside your body?
I had to let go a long time ago that body meant like what you look like on the outside. Like, it's like not just about like being skinny. Like, there's parts of it for me that is that.
Of course.
And there's parts of me, like, I love the way new like clothes fit me.
Great feeling.
I feel great. But body also to me is just like health. and like being in touch with the things that your body is saying to you. And for me, like I used to ignore a lot of signs that I would see and be like, I just pretend like it wasn't happening. And now I'm all about like dealing with it head on. Like if something's wrong or if I don't feel good, or I'm like, why? Like I'm being inquisitive with my body and inquisitive with myself. But I also like to be grateful for the body that I have, because I think a lot of people don't realize like other people aren't as fortunate, or they're more fortunate, or you're lucky to be in the body that you are. And like, I always want to treat it with respect. And that's just how I feel. And I think it's really important that you treat your body with respect at all. I don't want to like look back 80 years from now and be like, I wish I did this more, or I wish I worked out earlier, or I wish I continuously walked. And like Mammy, actually, our grandma, is someone that I always looked up to, because that girl was on the treadmill every day, 30 minutes, eats the healthiest ever, and takes really good care of her body. And look at her. Like, she's a beast.
She's incredible.
She is incredible. It's incredible. Like she took it and she ran with it for a long time in her life. And I really respect people who put their body and their mental state first.
I would say one thing for me that has been an important thought is that it can look however I want it to look when it comes to working out with my body.
Yeah.
I don't need to do anything I don't want to do, and I don't need to do any exercise that I don't want to do. So like on any given night, my first question to myself is, what would feel good tonight? If it's a full routine of 30 minutes of stretching, if it's a full yoga class, 45 minutes, then I'm just going to focus on doing it to the best of my ability. And I'm going to do stomach vacuums while I'm doing the yoga. And I'm going to do deep breathing and focus on my movement. And I'm going to stay present. And some nights I'm feeling really energetic. Like tonight, I know I'm visualizing that I'm going to do 12:33 on the treadmill. 12:30, sorry. And sometimes when I'm in the middle of that, I get a mental intrusive thought where I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. And then sometimes
that's the little voice in your head.
That's the little voice. And sometimes I'm like, that's not real. And sometimes I'm like, it is real. And then that's where I have to ask myself, what am I going to do if I get off this treadmill right now? What's next?
I really like that mentality too, because it's like gone are the days that like you need to like literally run on a treadmill for 7 miles and feel accomplished.
Right.
Like that, it's not just about going to the gym for me. Like I think I was talking to my friend too about like, I love how she's like walking in the morning, walks to get her coffee. She works from home, but like, so she has a lot of time, and she goes for a walk in the morning to get her coffee, comes back, walks her dog, comes back.
It's being active.
Like it's not just like it's not just about going to the gym for that 1 hour. It's like, how many other active things can you do? And that can be going to the grocery store and walking around. That can be, this weekend I went to Bloomingdale's and walked around for 2 hours by myself. That's still like, I didn't buy anything. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I bought Birkenstocks. I bought Birkenstocks.
And you bought them for me, but you bought me the wrong size. So.
I'm sorry. Mom bought you the correct one. Yeah.
I really like them.
Thank you. But for me, I also could have easily, on a sunny day, been sitting my butt on the couch watching Love Island. And like, I didn't do that.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up, because a long time ago, you and I kind of go back and forth debating about like, reality TV.
Love.
I have actually not watched anything other than Blue's Clues and Elmo on TV for, I would say, other than like an occasional movie in the Cape with the family, for a very long time.
You're going to laugh though. Like I am a full on TikTok, like trying to get education girly. Like I haven't watched in a while.
You're proving my point.
Yeah, like I don't have as much time, but I'm also don't have as much interest as I used to.
Yeah, because you're focused on different things.
I'm just like also tired. Like
I'm so tired.
You're putting in work. I'm putting 100% at work, and then I'm putting 100% in with myself. And if I want to watch TV on a Saturday, like that doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it. But it just doesn't suit me as much anymore. I still love it, but
it's not that you can't love it. It's not that I don't love binging a TV show. It's just that when I get in bed and I'm like, oh my God, I have not had 10 minutes on my phone today. I'd love to do a little TikTok time. I'm connecting with myself to say, well, what do I want to do right now? Or do I need to sleep tonight instead of work out? Or like, what is the best way to feed myself right now is the constant thing I'm asking myself, like what feels good? And I think I'm also, I guess another way of putting it is in just constant pursuit of what feels good, who feels good, how it all feels good.
another layer of this too is like, it's not just me I'm living for anymore. Like,
Same.
like, well, and it's not, I'm living for people that I love. Like, I want to be healthy for Joe too. Like, I want to be healthy for my dogs.
The dogs.
I love them so much. But I'm saying I want to be able to walk them more. I want to give them the best life they possibly can. When I have kids, I want to live till I'm 110. Like, I want to 120. Like, I want to be here for everything, and I want to do everything, and I want to treat my body with respect. And I'm sick of not, to be completely honest.
Dad used to say your body's a temple. I don't think I understood what he meant by that until after he ripped my belly button ring out of my stomach with pliers.
He did not like
Was
that.
very displeased. Now I understand what he meant when he said your body is a temple. In my 30s, I'm able to understand that on a deeper level.
Yeah.
And I'm able to honor that a little bit more.
Yeah, and like there are lessons you learn at times in your life that like I would have never have downloaded. Like if you like, and we talked about this multiple times, you were like, your wedding's coming up, your engagement's coming up, all these things are coming up. And again, you weren't saying that in like a negative way, like it or judgy. It's just like you would have known I'm going to go dress shopping. I want to buy as many outfits as possible.
No, I just wanted you to
and I want to be
great.
ass naked at my bachelorette. Like I want to do all of these things.
Yep.
What were you going to say?
Two things that you guys have both taught me. Number one, Carly's taught me that you receive information when you're ready, which is exactly what you're saying right now.
100%.
And what you've taught me, Rachel, is that the way you feel is the way you think. So if your body feels good, then you're going to think on that wave.
And vice versa. The way you think is the way your body feels. But it's not to say that you're always having the best thoughts. Like, it's not to say that I've been looking a lot into intrusive thoughts.
I have
recently.
the worst thoughts. Sometimes.
I do too.
They're horrible.
I do too.
And then sometimes I think my brain's wishing them and they're
Same.
horrible.
So it's a thing. There's like, it's a whole community on mom TikTok. Cause like I've been doing research on like what an intrusive thought is. And basically it's like a thought that enters your mind. You don't want it to, and you don't believe it. And it's not something you even, I find that it happens to me with worrying about my children. Like I'm constantly thinking about like, are they okay? Like, are they good? Is there anything I need to be doing for them that I'm not doing for them? And I've actually come to some really nice affirmations. I think one of them is everything's always working out for me.
I love that.
I say that to myself a lot.
Sometimes we look at each other and we laugh at that though. Like I think we had a day last week where like
we had meetings.
I didn't do a couple things because like I don't know why. Like I was just being slow on a couple things, and then like we had a call that like canceled out that I shouldn't have done it. Then we had another call that we were like, we're so glad we didn't do that. And then we had another call and we were like, holy shit, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And we looked at each other and we were like,
everything's always working out for us.
Like this is so crazy.
Lucky girl syndrome.
Lucky girl syndrome. But lucky girl syndrome is earned.
Yes.
And it's, I love to say it out loud. Like sometimes I need to say something out loud if I do need to pivot my body to think something different or to do something different. Oh, I don't want to work out tonight. Oh, that's an intrusive thought. Do I really not want to work out tonight, or am I just being
questioning yourself
lazy?
though? Yes. Like because it's easier to not do it.
Definitely.
Like it's easier for me to sit on my couch and do nothing.
Usually the harder thing is the one with more benefit.
Right. And it's like how many times can you consistently fight that little voice in your head? But something that you just said too, like I've been doing this thing. If you don't do this, this is going to happen.
That's a little bit of a form of OCD. I've researched.
Fully OCD.
A little bit.
I told you, I think I have a form of it. I hate it.
No, it's actually very normal.
I love when people say it's normal because it makes me feel like I'm the worst person in the world.
So normal. It is so normal.
And I won't say anything out loud. Like I keep them in my head because I'm like,
well, there is this point you get to when you do believe in manifestation, and then you do have an intrusive thought where you go into a loop. And the loop is, I can't say it out loud because if I say it out loud, it will happen. But if I don't say it out loud, then I'm holding it in. So it's like you have to also meditate through that, and you have to find solutions, like if you're finding yourself in that loop. And so the way out of that loop is affirmation.
Yeah.
And replacing thoughts. So it's like, it could be anything.
I literally just stick to, and it's worked for me a lot with the cancel clear, and I tell myself that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen.
I think another thing to ask yourself is, does my higher self really feel that? Or is that an intrusive thought, and labeling it? You know what I mean? Like, do I actually believe the thought that just came into my head? Definitely not.
It's weird the way your brain works, honestly. And I don't want it to work. I'm not interested in those thoughts, to be honest.
I think you can also feed bad thoughts though. Like I think like if you can let your mind has the ability to let a thought grow as you feed it energy. So if you don't feed it energy and you shut it off and say that thought's not real. That's not a real thing.
That is like my MO, just shutting it off. And it really does work.
It does, but it affects your body. I think that's why it's on this, section of topic is working out and doing these things. It's really hard. It's hard to find the time. It's hard to find your routine. It's a challenge to discover what makes you feel good.
Yeah. I think the number one thing also for me just in this lifetime right now is just like what I put in my body.
Food
like,
wise.
Yeah. Like it's just like, I know, and again, I'm not labeling bad or good, but like what's unhealthy for me and what's not at this time in my life.
For you.
Just for me.
Not generally speaking, just for you.
And I'm a lover of food. Like I love it. I think it's emotional.
I love food so much.
It's like one of my favorite things in the entire world, but it's not my whole life.
I know that mom bought Michael a cake from
Montilios.
Montilios.
She yelled at me because I asked her 3 times where it was from, and she said Montilios.
No, it's from Ring Brothers, the supermarket in Dennisport. But
because Michael likes Sudbury Farms cake.
Well, yeah, so it's a wonderful cake, and
like better than the one that I just got you.
It's a really nice cake. It's really nice cake. She got chocolate with vanilla frosting.
That's what I'm doing for my wedding.
I think that's really nice. I like that.
That's chic.
It is chic. It's chic. It's like a little opposite. I feel as though I want that cake. I kind of already have decided I'm going to have the cakes.
You should have it.
So I've visualized what I'm going to eat. I've visualized how I'm going to eat around that cake. And I visualized what I'm going to do leading up to eating the cake.
Well, you know what I love about you, though? Because, like, you don't have anything. Not that you're obviously not getting fit for my wedding as well, but, like, you're living a very 80-20 lifestyle right now. And honestly, goals, because eventually that's where I'm going to shift to, because it's fun to want the corn muffin that you're going to suck and lick. I listened to that today. I was dying laughing.
The suck and lick and the
muffin.
muffin.
Yeah, she's going to suck and lick the muffin.
That's, like, really not a good sentence.
Yeah, but then you talked about grilling it. All I could think about was a grilled
like I want the Dunkin'
muffin.
Donuts coffee roll.
Spectacular.
Like more than one time in my life. Like, and I'm going to have it.
It is 80-20. I'm definitely not perfect. I am watching the scale. I am definitely making choices based off of things I know I want or the way I think my weekend will go. Like I do know if I have a Saturday morning and Mike and I are driving the girls around and we're going to stop at Wolfie's, I do know that I'll allow myself to do that. I do know that in advance.
The Wolfie's in Dennisport, though, you mean?
Yeah, you don't like the Wolfie's in South Yarmouth.
The Wolfie's in Dennisport.
Noted.
So.
I think another thing that you guys are saying, though, is just like having the awareness. Like you guys are both aware of it, but it takes a point to get to that awareness.
It takes clarity. It takes clarity. It takes the mind piece, which is why I think mind comes first.
Yeah, like, and I like that too, because it's like, I'm so sick of all the, do you guys ever see the TikToks of the girls who are like, POV, you actually did what you said you were going to do? I live for those. I think they're so fun. Like, I feel like I'm on such a journey to like that TikTok, because for me, like, there's nothing more rewarding than like, one summer I said I was going to lose 20 pounds and then the next summer I'm like lost it. And it's so rewarding because that's something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
That was a journey for me. And it just feels so right.
I agree.
And it's just fun.
I agree. Let's talk about soul. So what is a soul to you? I'm going to ask both of you. What do you think a soul is?
Your inner light and your energy, and like has actually nothing to do with your physical appearance. It's how you feel around people, how you make people feel, and like just your spirit, really.
I like those words a lot.
I think it's just who you are. Like, I think it's to the core.
Yeah.
Like who you really, no bullshit, no lying, no additives, no frosting. Just like who you are to your
raw,
to your core.
I would agree. I'm like a Venn diagram of both of the things you guys just said. I'm falling in the middle. I think for me, it's an aura. I almost think it's like what people see surrounding your body that is occurring inside your body.
You know the Hercules movie where like he's in that cave and like
he's in the death area.
Yeah, but like all the souls are there. Is that what it is?
Yes.
When I hear the word soul, sometimes I think of that movie. I don't know why.
Well, that's interesting because that's wrapping yourself in white light. That's what they're doing in that. His head is on fire.
We need to watch Disney movies again now that I'm old.
I just did.
But I always think of
Lily
that
doesn't
movie and I'm like,
cartoon movies though.
I think of who I am in my lifetime, like my soul. It's kind of also like looking down on me too.
Being the witness.
You know, like it's not just who I am here, but it's like when it's our time in this life, like who I was, like what my footprint was, you know,
how people describe you too, like when you're not there, like physically.
Absolutely. I think
really pretty, really smart, really funny, really cute.
Adorable.
Yeah, absolutely cute.
one thing that I had written, this is a quote by me.
Hold on. We got to give credit to the author.
It's me.
This is made by Rachel Lindsay Stifter.
I wrote that meditation is where my mind and soul meet each other and have a conversation.
Ooh, you're freaky.
That's beautiful.
Freaky. You're such a visual
I'm going to
girl.
quote that and
Visual
post it on
girly.
Instagram.
Please
for
do
us.
post it on Instagram to hype this episode. I think that if you can visualize like your mind and your soul having a conversation, what would they say to each other and what would that energy be between them?
I just think of your higher self.
That's
honestly.
motivational. It is your higher
Yeah,
self.
like it's like I think you have an internal check-in with yourself of like, do I want to be this? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I happy? Am I sad?
Yeah.
If you look back on your life, you always say this, and it always sticks with me, like because you worked in that nursing home, you're always like you have that visual of when you look back on your life, like did you do everything? Did you say everything? Did you see everything you wanted to?
How do you look back on your life when you're 80 years old?
So
what
when
do you
you're
think?
talking to yourself, those are the things I'd ask.
Absolutely. And I think soul too is what do you do when no one's looking also, you know, like how do you react? How do you help people when you don't need to?
Mom sent that thing this morning.
I actually didn't read it. I didn't have
Oh,
a
you would
chance
have
to
really
digest
liked it. It was like nothing matters, basically. What we always believe is like the issue you had with a friend doesn't matter. The issue at work doesn't matter. The thing that you didn't get doesn't matter. Nothing matters because at the end of this world, all that matters is who loves you and who you love and what footprint you gave, basically, or like what you did to help people.
I think it's presence, honestly, because that statement of be here now, and like it's constantly something I'm reminding myself of. Like last night, I was rocking Sadie to sleep, and I was thinking about social media, and I hated that. I was like really annoyed at myself. I was like, I'm thinking about what I need to post, what I need to film, what I need to do with the rest of my night, what I need to do, and I was like, no. Presence.
Your
My soul
children
needs to be present.
Your children give me meditation though.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, or I don't know if that's what it is, but like when I'm holding Sadie, I know the feeling that you feel because I'm like, you are like feeding my soul. Like
it's reframed every aspect of time in my life.
Kids
every
are really
minute.
weird in your life. Like it's
Yes.
an addiction.
It's an addiction.
It's such a wonderful addiction too.
It's made me reframe for my soul what feeds my soul business wise too. And like one thing for me that's been feeding my soul is, this is gonna sound so like I'm such a loser, but like segmentation of time and like time blocking.
No, I don't think that, I get what you're saying.
And the reason I say that is because if I'm not going to be with this little being that came out of my vagina, then I'm going to need
Vagina
to be
round
doing
two.
Vagina number 2. I'm going to need to be doing something that is actually moving me forward in a different way. If I'm in a meeting and that meeting is pointless, I'm not going to the meeting. That does not feed my soul.
It becomes a time in your life where like, A, you get to decide that, and B, you have to be self-aware about that. Because if I feel like we've been on that theme too, because it's like if I'm doing something that is a waste of my time, doesn't suit me, or does nothing for me, then why the hell are we doing it?
It's literally a constant question I'm asking myself.
Especially because you now have to compare it to spending ultimate time with your kids. It's different.
And if I'm not going to look at them, I'm not going to be with them, somebody else is caring for them instead of me, what am I doing that's helping the whole situation? And so like I'm always in that mindset of like, what am I doing? And I know what that answer is. I have to think about it a lot. And I'm setting that example. I'm showing them what it means to be independent, but more than anything for myself, I am feeding my soul.
No, I love that though, because what is one thing people always want more of? Time.
Yeah.
You know, so if like you really think about it and I don't want to be the person that looks back and be like, I wish we had more. I wish we had more time. Like I really don't want to be that person. I don't want to have regrets like that.
No, I want to love everything I do in every single minute. And that's what feeds my soul.
Yeah.
It's feeling like I'm excited about the next minute. I'm excited about the next moment. I'm excited about the next weekend. And I can tell that Mike and I I know we're twin flames, and I know our souls are on fire together. I can feel it right now because, and it wasn't always that way. Like we always knew we were in love, but now that our souls are aligned, it's a different kind of love.
It's funny when Joe and I have like twin flame moments, which we're definitely not yet. And that's totally fine.
You get there.
I'm like obsessed with him. Like when it could be something stupid. Like if we want the same food, like I'm like, or like he's like something I like.
It's a connection.
I'm like, love.
That's a soul connection.
Fucking love you.
It's a soul connection. It's when you can laugh at, like when you're in the middle of a fight, or when you can, it's flowing together.
Yeah.
And that's what that's what a soul mate is. You know what I mean? Like when you really kind of break that apart. Like I look at Mike and I fucking giggle. I giggle. I'm like, what the fuck shirt are you wearing? But I'm giggling.
It's Joe's.
It's Joe's shirt. It's like Mike, I buy him the best clothes. He's like blind when he gets dressed. I'm like,
honestly, I love
what
it.
Are you
Don't make fun of him.
No, I love him so much.
Like cry.
No, it's beautiful.
It's a good feeling. You'll feel it.
You will feel it, and you'll know when you feel it.
I think it's funny. I used to be like, oh, they have that. I don't have that. But sitting here now, I'm almost envisioning.
You're visualizing
having it.
I tell that to many people in my life.
And
that
people look.
If you don't have what you want, visualize what you want.
Yeah.
Visualize it, but look for it in the right places. Like ask for the right things.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people focus on the wrong things in their relationship, and I always didn't. Mm-hmm. I cared about having the same values, and we wanted the same future. And when it didn't match up, I was honest about it. And I think some people can do that better.
You certainly can set yourself up for success when finding that soulmate, in terms of like, if you're finding that person at a place where you do understand yourself deeply, where you're able to connect with yourself, then you're going to attract someone who is on that same wavelength as you. And it doesn't mean that everything's always perfect with that individual. It just means that you're able to connect on a level that you never connected before with somebody else. It's truly like, it's a heartbeat. He has my heart, like my beat of my heart.
That's nice.
It is nice.
You're sentimental.
I am sentimental.
You guys are cute. Wifeys.
Anyways.
Wifey. No, I think that
was great.
I think that the soul is a really important piece. I think that the soul sort of comes from the first two also being super aligned. So I do think there's like a little bit of an order of operations here. If you are seeking a better version of yourself, it's like step one is just ask yourself, what would feel good to me right now?
I was just going to say, for anyone listening that like has something they've always wanted to do, and do it and be consistent with it. Yeah. That's it. Like it doesn't have to be something big. Like that was always something I felt like I did, was like cold turkey, like cut everything off. Started working out every day, started eating healthy every day. Like that doesn't work like that.
It has to be eased.
Yeah.
It has to be casual.
And then you add.
I don't hyper focus anymore on like anything negative.
Yeah.
So it's like, if there's something that happened, let's say I was embarrassed by something, or there was a moment I said something I wish I didn't say, I'll connect with myself and say, why did I say that? Why did that happen? And then I'll address it in whatever way feels good to me. Do I need to connect with the person who I said something to I wish I didn't say? Do I need to journal about this and keep it to myself? How would it feel if I expressed this to that individual? Because sometimes it's not good to express, and then you don't know what it would feel like on the other side of that, you know?
And then move on and let go, because that's been a big time waster when I was a little bit younger. Just, I'm me, and I'm going to be me continuously.
Well, I think you've really come to terms with like loving yourself. And that's what I think mind, body, soul is. It's what I think it means to be like on this path to best self, is like, I love myself exactly as I am right now.
I love you too, Rachel.
Thank you. I love you too. And I think it's an affirmation though that you should say to yourself, like, I'm not big on saying affirmations in the mirror. It feels a little cheesy to me. I mean, some people really feel it. I don't need to feel that.
Some girl was like, what is one thing you do? Or what is one thing you do every day? She's like, I high five myself in the mirror.
I'm definitely not high-fiving myself in the mirror.
Ever.
I'm actually doing nothing in the mirror but like my makeup.
Staring at yourself.
I just envisioned Rachel giving herself a high five in the mirror.
All right, well, I'm going to go eat my kava.
Yeah, I need kava. It's just, show me how good it can get. Universe, Show me how good it can get.
And it just keeps getting better.
Right.
Truthfully.
What if it turns out better than you ever thought it could?
Oh, that's what mom used to say to me. I was like, well, what if this happens? She's like, what if it doesn't?
What if it turns out the best way possible? You know, and you can't take the optimism out of me. That is what my soul is made of.
We know I've tried.
Positivity. And I love it.
Much love.
Over and out.